Well, share. Have a seat. Have any jokes? You remember any of those boat jokes?
No.
No? Oh, I can't remember this one. Why are boats considered cool to pirates? Last time aboard Freedom, we finally left our home port in Seattle and headed northbound to one of our newest favorite places in the Pacific Northwest. Cruising between 7 and 8 knots meant we had 8 hours to kill, so Sean and I switched off between watch shifts and wrapping up our work weeks before arriving at Cypress Island, a unique island paradise 60 miles north of Seattle and just east of the San Juan Islands. For the next week or so, we'll be living here at Anchor in Eagle Harbor, doing some boat chores and, of course, exploring this amazing destination. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
What are you doing? Laundry day?
Bed sheets. Good way to load up the generator. Do a load of wash.
Hey, speaking of the generator,
Yeah.
Explain that again. We need to have it fully loaded.
It's best to have it 50% loaded or better. Generator likes a workout.
Wow.
It runs the same RPM regardless to create the right frequency of power, so it's better to put the engine under load than to let it run that quickly with no load. Otherwise it builds up with carbon and then you got to clean out the exhaust elbow. So yeah, helps it run cleaner.
So you're saying I can run the microwave, the coffee maker, and the heater?
Please do. The generator's run it all.
Oh, we gotta live on the generator all the time.
The more the merrier. Breakfast is served. Voila.
Dishes are done, and Sean has the dinghy down, and he's already started waxing the boat. The weather today is perfect for waxing because it's overcast and it's supposed to be dry. I believe it's Pacific Northwest, so who knows. But it's supposed to be relatively dry for the majority of the day. It's not too cold out, so I'm going to actually join him to help wax our hull because being at Anchor, it's the easiest way, obviously, to just get on the dinghy and go around the boat. So we're going to do that. We've got the laundry in, and there's that saying or joke that owning a boat is doing projects in exotic places, and it's not a joke, it's real because that's what you do. You either do projects at your dock or you do it in exotic places, and Cypress Island feels like an exotic place, and it feels like a perfect place to do a boat work because it doesn't feel like work. It feels like you're just enjoying a vacation day. So we'll get some boat work done, and then hopefully, if everything stays good with the weather, we will jump on the island and take a hike. I've heard through the grapevine that the hike to the Eagle Cliff is closed this time of year for nesting of some birds, so that might not happen, but regardless, we'll still take the dinghy around and do some exploring. My first priority at Anchor is always to get Sully reacquainted with his pea patch, and today he's being a real champ. Oh, I was just looking for you.
Can you grab me a toothpick?
Yeah, you need a toothpick?
Yeah, and then can you turn off the heater in the staterooms?
Yeah, what do you need a toothpick for?
Unclogging my bottle.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for me to come help?
Maybe. It might be a little tight for both of us in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You heard it straight from the man. He doesn't need my help, so I'm going to tackle the laundry. And here's a little tip for you if you don't have an iron or simply don't want to set up an ironing station in a small space. To get your sheets to come out of the dryer looking almost ironed, well, kinda, sorta, maybe, hand iron everything before folding and putting back in the dry cycle. Sean swears by this method, but honestly, I think it only works great for the pillowcases and is a complete waste of time for everything else. If you give this a try on your boat or at your home, let us know how it goes. And if anyone has any idea how on earth to fold a fitted sheet, please let me know in the comments below. $20. I did not do that right, but whatever. This whole process is just like redonkulous. Okay, moment of truth. The laundry is done. Oh boy. Oh, that's not gonna live up to Sean's standards. Oh boy. What do you think of the laundry?
Looks good.
How does it compare to yours?
It's good. Yeah, same.
No, be honest.
You did a good job.
All right, it is time to go exploring, finally. Sean got all of his waxing done. Sully's going crazy. He can't wait to get to land and walk around. And we get to check out our new dinghy. I'm super excited. What? It's exciting.
I know.
Did it feel good on your feet when you were waxing?
You said new dinghy. It's like new.
Oh, I meant new dinghy flooring.
Okay, bud. Good. Good boy.
Looks nice.
Yeah. It's cool stuff. It's a little dirty right now. I gotta clean it up.
Stiff bristle brush.
Yep.
Woo. Yeah, we recently got some Raptor marine decking on our dinghy, so the floor is nice and non-skid, and it's got kind of a nice cushion to it, and it feels really good when you're in your bare feet. So it'll be fun for sunset cruises when we just kind of want to jump in the dinghy and relax and be a little more comfortable. And it looks good. Makes the 17-year-old dinghy look like new, so no need to go out and buy a new one.
When you can pimp your dinghy.
Yeah. It's cold in the wind and in the shade. Located on the eastern shores of Cypress Island, Eagle Harbor is a quiet bay with easy shore access that leads right into the many scenic trails that wind through and around the island. It's beautiful here. We're right on the water, so we can hear the water. And I'm not quite sure where it leads or what the beach is like, Pelican Beach, but I'm sure it's great. I almost stepped on another slug. It's a shame because I have to be looking down now. I can't look up and enjoy the scenery. They're these giant, they're like genetically engineered slugs. They're really fat, like fatter than I've ever seen. Or maybe they're just eating good in the neighborhood, who knows? Every 50 feet. As we continued on the trail for about a half hour, we eventually arrived at Duck Lake, a quiet spot to take a breather. Oh, well, share. Have a seat. How you doing?
Good.
That's good.
How about you?
Good. I don't know why I'm so winded. Maybe I have a heart condition.
Yeah, I'm winded too. There's a lot of uphill.
Yeah, it's like all uphill, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
Have any jokes? You remember any of those boat jokes?
No.
No. Why are boats considered cool to pirates?
I don't know.
I don't know. They just arg. Like that's not the. I can't remember the exact joke, but I just made that up on the fly. That sounds pretty good, right? Isn't that funny? Cypress Island is the largest undeveloped island in the San Juan Islands, although it's not technically part of the San Juans. The island has more than 5,200 acres of lush forests, lakes, beaches, grasslands, and no shortage of lookout points. With these 360-degree views of the San Juan Islands to the west, Guimas Island to the east, Fidalgo Island to the south, and so much more in between, it's no wonder why this island is home to so many eagles and other species of birds who can get these views anytime they want. 6,200 steps later, and we are back in Eagle Harbor. Pretty short hike. Definitely need to do longer tomorrow. But she's still there. Looking good. Now that we've gotten most of our steps in for the day and cleaned most of the slugs off of our shoes, it's time for happy hour. And to make tonight's happy hour even better, Sean installed cup holders, because who doesn't want cup holders on their dinghy? And for $10, you really can't go wrong with an upgrade like this. Thank you.
You bet.
Oh, yeah. Perfect fit.
Like a glove.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the weekend. And to being at anchor in an island paradise that's so close to home, yet you feel really far away from home. After an hour of floating around and enjoying these beautiful views, there was only one more thing on our to-do list: dinner. You might have guessed right that tonight's menu consists of steak for Sean and lots of plants for me. But before you go and judge, just remember, gorillas are vegetarians too.
So we get a ton of questions what we use on the windows to reduce the hard water spots from forming. And I just used 3M cleaner and wax. And then I use my small little polisher, just obviously because the big one doesn't fit, doesn't get into the corners well. And I just have a cheap foam pad on here, and I just kind of work the polish around, and then work the cleaner wax around, and then use my microfiber rag to wipe the haze off after I've polished out the water spot marks.
Have you ever used Rain-X?
No, but that would work as well. I don't do this much, maybe once a year. Usually I'm very diligent about when I wash the boat. I wipe all the windows with a chamois, so the water spots don't form that quickly, and that's why I only got to do this like once a year.
How's it going?
Okay. The visibility's not too good, and the boat bobbing around from the passing boat wakes is making me a little sick. So I'm not gonna get too crazy. Scrub the water line a little bit and call it a day.
How's the keel cooler?
Pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Barnacles are starting to grow in the propeller. It's when the sun starts coming out and the weather gets warmer, we start seeing more growth. So it was good to knock some of those off.
We have prop speed on?
Yeah, but it needs to be reapplied.
No.
I think it's about at its life. I think it's about 4 or 5 years old now.
Oh, it's that old? We don't do it when we paint the bottom?
We didn't do it yet since we've owned the boat, no.
Oh.
Luckily for Sean, his 5mm wetsuit seems to do the trick. In 48-degree water, he just looks cold. But he says he's hot, so we'll go with that. With our weekend chores out of the way, it's time to turn Freedom back into an office to start the work week.
Good boy. Good job, buddy.
Well, our work day is finally over. It became a beautiful day. It started out really rainy and gray, and it is a perfect day. So we're going back on a hike that we did yesterday, actually, and we found that we can loop all the way around, like almost half the island. So it's pretty awesome. Today there's going to be some awesome views because it's so perfect out. And yeah, can't wait to get back on the island. It's so green, isn't it? For anyone wondering how we stay in shape while living in a small space, we hike, and then we hike, and then we hike some more every chance we get. Today, we're hiking south on the Eagle Harbor Trail, which connects to the Cypress Mainline Trail, which connects to the Airfield Trail, which ends at an abandoned airstrip just a few miles uphill. This island is a must-see if you've got a boat, kayak, canoe, or maybe even a paddleboard, since that's the only way you can get here. Thanks for watching and for joining us on Cypress Island, a little slice of paradise right here in the Pacific Northwest. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll always be notified of our latest adventures. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, it's time for another weekly Q&A with the captain aboard MV Freedom. Let's go ahead and get started with our first question. Question 1 comes from Mark. Mark lives in Brisbane, Australia, and asks, what do you do with your garbage when not alongside? How do you store it, etc.? So, yeah, we need to hold our garbage until we're at a dock where we can go to shore and properly dispose of it. One thing that we're fortunate to have aboard our boat is a trash compactor. The trash compactor allows us to probably quadruple the amount of time that we can get out of a single trash bag. And for us, it's usually about every 2 weeks that we're looking to find a shoreside place where we can dispose of our trash. Another thing that helps greatly is to try to minimize how much trash generating stuff you bring on board. So usually when we provision, we bring things on board and we try to remove as much packaging as possible. So meats will get removed from their containers and get vacuum sealed in bags. Soda will get removed from the boxes and the boxes thrown away, things like that. Our next question comes from Joe Dobby. Sorry, not sure how you pronounce that. Joe lives in Bonanza, Oregon. In your anchor video, it appears you installed a Mantis anchor chain swivel. I see it's rated for 35,000 pounds. Seems your boat weight is greater than that. How has it worked? So when it comes time to rate anchor chain or dock lines for a boat, they don't need to support the entire weight of the boat. Our anchor chain is obviously not dry lifting our boat like a crane would. So the swivel and the anchor chain does not need to be rated for the full 65,000 pounds that our boat weighs. As an example, we have 3/8 anchor chain on our vessel, and that chain, depending on what grade it is rated for between 5,000 and 7,000 pounds of working load. So our swivel rated at 35,000 pounds is not by any means the weakest link. In fact, that swivel is actually rated to go up to 1/2-inch chain, which would be used on much larger vessels. So again, think about the fact you're not pulling on the entire weight of the vessel. It just needs to withstand the force of any current or any wind that would be applied against the boat, and that's not going to be equal to the full weight of the boat. Our third question this week comes from Jeff Gilbertson. Jeff lives in Marshfield, Wisconsin. How much anchor chain do you have on board a vessel of your size? So we have 400 feet of anchor chain aboard our vessel, and the length has more to do with the depth of the water that you're anchoring in, and it's really less about the length of the boat. So in the Pacific Northwest, we have rather deep waters and anchorages, so that 400 feet is extremely helpful, allows us to anchor safely in depths up to about 75 feet. Maybe we can extend that close to 100 feet of water depth, but that would be about the deepest water we would anchor in. And then our last question comes from Shannon. Shannon lives in Bellingham, Washington. Have you ever stern tied in the past? We have stern tied, and whenever possible, we choose not to stern tie because it is a bit of a hassle. It's a two-person job. One person needs to man the big boat and keep it in position, while a second person gets on the dinghy and takes the line to shore and brings it back to the boat. So if the anchorage is large enough where we can swing and safely anchor in the middle, that is our preference. But if it is simply too tight or more boats are trying to fit in, then we will stern tie to shore. So as always, thanks for all the really great questions. If you want one of your questions answered in an upcoming video, look us up on Instagram and drop us a direct message with your name, your location, and your question. We'll get it added to the list, and it'll hopefully get answered in an upcoming video. We hope everybody has an awesome week, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.